So the process of letters of healing is actually from a larger project that I've been doing, where I really believe that writing can be a form of channeling in which your words become messages, not only for you, but for others. So the axis of my project is this line: my healing is your healing, our healing is the world's healing. I really believe that there's a real interconnection, right? Where when we look at ourselves deeply, we're also looking into the world. When we look at another deeply, we're looking also very deeply into ourselves. So there's this interchange that I believe in. Obviously, so my background is in expressive arts therapy. Um, and this is not therapy, but it could be therapeutic. So I just want to kind of establish that relationship. Um, and I also want to say that healing in this session, and maybe in general, from at least my understanding, is not for the machine. So we're not healing so that we can continue our daily lives in the 9 to 5 grind and we forget about our woes. Okay, so it's not healing by putting a band-aid so that we can numb the pain. Rather, it's healing so that we can feel more deeply and be more sensitive to not only ourselves, but our community and the world around us. So that's kind of the goal. Obviously, that's a very ambitious project for 1 hour only. So it's not going to be, all of that. But yeah, I do monthly writing sessions this year. So, that's just to give you a framework, and they're all letters of healing. So today what we'll be doing is I hope to, yes, this is kind of a good intimate group. I hope that we'll get to do some discussions. We'll be writing together, discussing together, and also sharing a little bit of our writing. And this year, our theme for REC is cycles of change. So I was really thinking about animals that change elements. For example, frogs who go from water to earth, and butterflies who go from land to air. Hello, welcome, Anne. And I was thinking, okay, what if we also kind of try to embody the changing between elements? So we'll be kind of exploring 4 elements and writing with that in mind. And I know some of you might be joining as writers, people who love writing. And I just want to say, as an expressive arts therapist, often people will come to our session and be like, I'm a painter. That's why I want to do art therapy. And actually, as an expressive arts therapist, we were like, ooh, actually, if you really, really like painting and always think about painting, we try to do something totally different, like maybe movement or writing in the session instead, because sometimes our thoughts about an art form, if we think a lot about something and really want it to be good and really care about the craft, that actually often blocks us from the channeling of it. So for today's writing, I'd like to ask I know everyone has this voice of judgment or critique. I'd like to ask that voice to step out of the room, and we'll close the door together and just, let them be in the waiting room and allow this writing process to be one where you can surprise yourself, where it's not like, oh, I know my writing and it's like this. I want us to stumble and kind of fall into something or discover something together. So we're going to begin now with some writing, and I'd invite you to find your writing tool ready. It can be in paper or it can be on screen, but I would encourage paper if that's available for you, just because we're going to be playing with form a little bit. So if paper, a physical writing tool is available, that would be excellent. So we'll be doing 4 short exercises where you'll do some personal writing and we'll share a little bit after each, and then 1 collaborative writing in the end. Oh, and Hina says, I'm feeling like a seed that is growing roots to slowly bloom up. Oh, beautiful. So much beautiful growing energy. So our very first element that we're going to be connecting with is water, which is funny because in the writing group yesterday, we also deeply connected with water. And today I want to frame water with a little story. A few years ago, I met the most clean water I've ever seen in my life. And I got very emotional and cried because, I've never seen water this clean and I didn't even know it was possible. So I asked the water, what can we do? How come every other water body in the world, is so polluted that I didn't even know that natural water can look like you, right? I felt very, very desperate in that moment. And then I actually heard a response. When I asked her, how can we help you? She says, let me heal you first. And that's what I want us to kind of tap into today for our first activity. Imagining your own river of emotions. And this river of emotions of the present moment is one where time is collapsing and crashing and waving and spiraling in itself. It can be now as in the yesterday, it can be now as in your childhood. It's the now that is present in all your forms. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to really ride this stream of your feelings, of your emotions. So it's going to be a stream of consciousness writing. And I'd like to really encourage you to practice this where you do not lift your pen or do not stop writing at any point in this 5 minutes. And allow yourself to explore all emotions. Nothing needs to connect or make any sense. If an image pops up and you don't know what it means, it doesn't matter, okay? And no one needs to read this later on. And that's time. So slowly wrap up your sentence, your word. I know it feels fast. So this is a private stream. And you can just kind of look at her. Oh, what came up? What was there? What isn't there? And maybe there's no surprises. Maybe there are. But I'd like you to ask her a question now, your river. Yes. In my practice, I often kind of step out. And so now we're just going to look at your writing. You can look at it in any way you want. It could be mentally or physically look at it. And ask her, hey, river, what is your name? And I'm not going to give you too much time to think of this name. Just whatever pops up. What does she say? Oh, what is the river's name? The river of your emotions. And that's what I'd ask you guys, like the river of, what's her name? And yeah, so I'm going to ask you to just share her name in the chat. And you don't have to type enter yet. Just write it first down until everyone has it. And you can give me maybe a thumbs up once you have typed your name in. Lenart, wow, great. Rachel, great. Rebecca, great. Yeah. Thank you, Sunny. Pooja, sorry, Vishva. I'm like mixing your name. Tina, Gloria, thank you, thank you. Okay, so type it in the chat and just together we're going to, I'm imagining like rivers meeting each other, through this chat box. That's the image that I'm trying to invoke. Okay, so we can start sharing the names of our rivers in the chat. Beautiful. Wow, and we can just see what came up. Beautiful. So now we're going to shift to air and we'll have a little discussion later on. Ooh, upside down, insane. Spring. So the sun is coming out and we're going to move to air a little bit. And imagining this river kind of transmuting into something gaseous, is that the word? And Brownian motion is what came to mind when I thought of this exercise. So with your page, or I'd like you to really spread out your writing in a jumping way. And your prompt is, how does your river relate to the air and around you? As in, how does your healing relate to our healing, relate to the world's healing? Where do you see the connection points? What is jumping out? What is jumping in? And while you're writing, I really want to encourage you to actually jump around the page physically. You can like leave a little word here, jump over here, then jump back, just to kind of really embody this feeling of you are evaporating this river. And there's this cloud that's forming, and it's forming, and there's air. Okay, is that clear? Yes. The exact question is, how does your river, and welcome Albert, we had just done some stream writing. How does your river relate to the environment around you? So air is, so universal. It's connecting to all the trees. So with that idea of my healing is your healing, our healing is the world's healing. How does this river of your emotions kind of present itself in the rest of the world? Where do you see the connection points? How does, the emotions that came up for you kind of disperse in the world? Is that clear, Anne? Or a little clearer? Okay. Are there any other questions before this? And yeah, really play around on the page here. It can look really crazy or look really messy, Brownian motion. So really imagine just flipping, flopping around. Okay, ready? And we start. And that is time. You can slowly wrap up the last words. So I'm curious, how was that? That was also interesting for me. And what I'd like us to do is, if we can, turn on our cameras and just briefly share the air, the gas particles that we have left on this page. Yes, beautiful. And just seeing, okay, like how does it look for everyone? Yeah, it's kind of all floating around and so similar in some ways and different. Okay, and I'd like us to, like the gas, popcorn style, read out just little particles from your page, if that makes sense. And this is totally experimental. I'm curious how this goes. The goal is to not leave room between us, if that makes sense. At least, I mean, of course, there can be some room, like gas particles, there's space, but trying to kind of just see what comes up and what emerges and what doesn't emerge. And I encourage us to unmute so we're ready, and we can just kind of see what comes up. Okay, are we ready? And yeah, if you can unmute. So I'll start. So who else is stressed?
Følelser er mulighed for alkymi.
Trembling molecules.
Take the leap.
Self-awareness and gratitude.
Über Meere und Wälder.
Or simply walk away.
At mærke det hele gennem åbent hjerte.
Folding in falling.
I can move to noticing without judgment.
It seems that answers are not the answer.
Salamanders live here.
Fumbling with the bees and the birds.
Even the land is stressed.
Tremble in hand.
Dancing at my own pace.
Space, space, space.
No chance of rot.
Føle dybt er at transformere.
Shifting clouds.
Misty joy and misty grief.
Movement and inner peace. Watching the world pass by.
Wow, thank you. Any other particles want to join before we end this little experiment here? So,
Ask me thinking.
sorry.
Ask me thinking.
Possibly thinking. Oh, interesting. So I'm curious how that was for you guys, both the being a molecule in the voice as well as the writing. Just a minute or so's reflection. I'm curious if that was really difficult, or was that really difficult to kind of conceptualize? You know, I'm curious what the edge was, because we're going to be using that for the next one. Yeah, and
I was just really moved by like the actual like physicality of like like how different it feels like to use the like entirety of the space in the notebook. So actually really like the feeling of space between words, I felt like was a really powerful way to really condense. And there was like a really a freedom in it, like this like it can really take space even if it's a small sentence. That felt really new for me. Yeah.
thank you for that reflection. Yeah. Pooja says taking space didn't feel wrong. Yeah, that was actually what came up for me too. I wrote space, so much space, space. And it's so interesting that that came up for multiple people. It's like a clue. What is space and what does it mean? Yeah, any other reflections before we go to fire?
So for me, I have a tone in my writing, but if I look at it in just random points, those words are not safe, or the tone is safe, but the words are not safe.
Yes, we are. And I like that you brought up that tone, because the next step of fire is really about breaking it all down, really breaking it down. Fire is so transmutative. It destroys and creates at the same time, right? It takes that energy of the air and in the wood and then kind of brings something new at the same time. So we're looking at our big spacious writing and also words that maybe came up in our group. And we're going to really break it down. When I say letters, I forgot to mention this. I don't mean like a dear, that an epistolary poem, but actually the letters themselves sometimes. So we're going to, and this is going to be a little bit shorter because fire is snappy and quick and explosive. We're going to start to break down and transmute some of the air particle words. So for example, and I want you to practice this with sound. So really kind of dropping everything you know about writing. And we're actually just going to be focusing on the sound itself. Like for example, gratitude, rat. What does rat bring? Retired. I just keep going and transmuting and playing. And of course, you don't have to stick with one route. You can go to another word. Remember, memory, member, berate, rate. Oh, we're back to rat. Oh, so really kind of just exploring sound here, totally letting go of meaning and really just seeing where that brings you from the air particles. And it's already kind of separated. So in a new space, kind of let the air feed into fire. Is there any questions about this next one? And it's going to be a little bit faster. Yeah.
Are we doing it out loud?
No, we're going to do it in your own book. Yeah. And by the way, you can also make up new words here, playing with the sounds, making up words for yourself, making your own vocabulary here as well. Yes.
And so we're focusing on sound, but we're going to write it down.
Yes. So the sound, maybe let me put it this way. The sound is your kind of guide. but it is, yeah, still going to end up into the word space. Yeah, it's kind of like the leading thing is the sound, but it can also make meaning. Like maybe a sentence comes out of the different sounds. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be related, right? It's just going to be like free flow.
Yeah. Free flow, totally destroying your own words to create new sounds, basically. Yes. Does that make sense? Yeah. Thanks for experimenting. I'm very excited for this one because it's also very, very new for me. Okay. Okay, so this one's going to be snappy and fast like fire. So, ready, set, and let's go. Okay, and that is time. Okay, I'm super curious. So I'm going to open the space just to, if anyone is interested in sharing. Obviously, if you were like, wow, that was weird, that's okay too. But yeah, I'm curious if anyone wants to share any of the sounds that they were playing with, where it ended up, any surprises, what was curious for you.
I lost the words at the end just before you looked up, and I just was with the vibration of what it was in my body.
Interesting. That's interesting to me. Wow, losing the words. Okay. Yeah, any other sharings or anyone want to share any words that they were playing with and what it became?
I could really feel the fire and the vibration. It was a lot of fun, but I found myself cursing a lot. That's why I don't want to share.
That's so interesting. That's so funny. Okay, that's interesting there. The rage came out. Yeah. Okay.
I found myself like I felt like there's like this composting aspect of it in terms of like getting down to it was like bumbling, bum, bling, bing, beginning to tremble, bull, bell. I was like in bees for a while and baloney.
Mm.
Like I just feel like it was like kind of random too. Breath, breathe, eat the beat, beat at the beat. Like it was there's like a staccato there it was very rhythmic.
Yeah.
But I was like very into like the letters. I think it like I love the idea of just thinking about letter writing more in terms of the actual letters and the rhythm of the letters. It was cool.
Thank you. Yeah, the beats, the literal beats of the bees. That's awesome. That's awesome. Baloo. Yeah, I actually, for me, I was like surprised. Like I was like stress, rest, mess, test, less, yes. And then I was like, less, yes, exactly, less, yes. And I got more and more excited about that. So it was like there was like a surprise message there too. So, okay, we've gone very far. Anyone else wants to share before we go to our fourth element? Okay. Tailspin. Yeah. Oh, Hakima, yes.
Oh, did I? Okay. Yeah, in the beginning I felt anxious with the words, but then at a certain at a time at one time I with one word specific word I felt so much at ease and yeah and then there was yeah some kind of change in the way I was doing this so yeah from anxiety to loosen up and feeling at ease.
Thank you. That's an interesting process. You got comfortable with the fire after a while.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So we've decentered from meaning a little bit and spiraled into the flames. And now we go back to earth, grounding, something stable. And I want us to return to our river, those emotions that came up, what messages they were. And now what we're going to do is using the fire and the air. Is there a way? And it doesn't have to be like exactly like now I'm using just B words for this, to write one mantra that the earth is gifting you. Now the earth is going to speak to you. The earth is going to give you a message. And it is not you speaking anymore. It is you embodying ground to speak to you, and especially speaking to that river, because the earth is what shapes that flow. So allow the air and allow the fire words to guide you. Maybe you'll be surprised at what might lay there. Not everything, obviously, but oh, maybe something will be there. And the task for Earth is to say the same thing over and over again in different ways. Is there any question about that? I know that's also quite big of a task, but and this one we will slow down a bit, and it will be a little longer, and I won't put a timer, but I will be conscious of time because I know we're running out. But are there any questions before we start into this? So we're just saying, we're just trying to find, and you can take your time to find this message, but finding one message and saying it, oh, once and in a different way, just saying it more than one way. Yeah, beautiful. So you return to Earth now and see what message she gives you. Happy writing. And just come back. Yeah, so I'd love to share that message, one of the versions or more than one. And you can do it verbally, can type it in the chat. Oops, sorry. Or not or, and I will help write it onto a collective tree to be the ground, our ground, our shared ground. But yeah, anyone have a mantra they'd like to share or any message that came up for them for their river? How about we do both languages? So Anne, you can first say it in your language, and then it would be great if you could help translate after. And you can share it verbally first, and or write it too. Yeah.
I can go. This was so beautiful. So what came was listen for the flow and take it slow. Trust the river and one step at a time. Be with the tears and let them guide you. Swim with the water and do not force or fix. Befriend the heartbreak and possibility little by slow. Bumble, muddle, twist with the stream, drop by drop.
You're still muted, Vespera. If you're saying something, we don't hear you.
Oh, so thank you, thank you. I was just saying, yeah, it was so beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. I actually, mine was also quite resonant to that, so it's beautiful to see. Yeah, anyone else have a message they'd like to share from that earth grounding energy?
Hello, hi Vespera. Hi everyone.
Hi,
So
Manu.
I have something I'm putting it in chat because this is what I understood the exercise as. So I understood that we have what I got is that we have to get one mantra and then write it in different ways, the same thing. So this is what I understood. And so,
Yeah,
right,
thank you. Thank you for
most
sharing
welcome. Yeah, welcome.
that. And Zarmina says, breathe, leap, release, repeat. Ooh, wow, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna add that to our ground. Ooh, Anne, can you read that out loud first? It's just I love listening to different languages too.
Absolutely. Dine følelser forbinder dig til jordens hjerte. At føle dybt er at elske dybt.
Wow, thank you. Your emotions connect you to the heart of the earth. To feel deeply is to love deeply. Thank you for that. Chen Chen, thank you. Return to the wilderness. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Mine is also, in that actual sense, is also tasting deeper is bolder than fear. Hakima. Would you like to read it, Hakima? I just realized I've been reading for people, but would you like to read it yourself?
Yeah, sure. I have the earth said, I have the right, said to me, I have the right to release through words, not to disturb, but to give justice to life moving in me. And I release the rocks of heavy thoughts. I loosen the tightness around my breast, and I lay down the weight on my back. Let the ground tremble, let the ink move, let what is buried rise. My words are not a burden, they are soil turning. I write from solid ground, I write in ease.
Wow. Thank you for this. This is such beautiful mantras here. Oh, I see one on the, sorry, I've been slacking on this whiteboard. Beautiful. And then allow salamanders to meander in your blood. Wow. Beautiful mantras. And Vishva says, you are listening into ways of showing up in new ways. Wow. Thank you. And Hina, would you like to share for yourself or would you like me to read it?
Sure, I'll be happy to read. Allow the mind to settle and find clarity in the water that clears. It is easier to row and meet yourself at the mirror.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, everyone,
I will
for
just
this.
repeat.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I'll just repeat the most poignant line that was there for me today. It was said by you, Vespera, which was the water, the pristine water, saying, "Let me heal you first." The way you said it, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very grateful I received that message and often try to share it from water. Milena, I heard this. Would you like to share yours? Would you like me to read it, Milena? Okay, I will read it. Whatever you decide, I will always be beneath you to hold you and be with you. All security you need is the certainty of knowing my presence is never going to leave you until you embrace me and turn into soil to strengthen me, to jolt and heal others. Beautiful. To hold and heal others. Sorry. I was like, oh, maybe a new word. Beautiful. Oh, Lennar. Lennar, would you like to read it or do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I can read it. I am what says I am in you. You are my flesh, my bones, my dreams, my will.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for laying such a beautiful ground. Oh, and Chen Chen, would you like to read this?
Return to the wideness above the path outside the tree.
Thank you. Yeah, this is so beautiful. Thank you. And, I hope that this was an interesting experience. Thank you for experimenting with me. Are there any like feedback on the process, or what worked or didn't work? Because we can't do the tree poem, unfortunately, so we can't like grow the tree together. But that was originally going to be the next step from the earth that we shared. But yeah, any comments on the process of the elements and the shifting? Any parts where you were like, oh, that was interesting, oh, that was hard? Yeah. Or any comment at all about your own writing or surprises?
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was also confusing. It was also very clarifying, a lot of things at the same time. It was really good for me to have not too much time, or kind of the timing was really good. And definitely inspired me to experiment more in my writing.
Thank you for that, Leonard.
Yeah, also thank you. I'd like to thank you. I never thought that writing is that easy and simple. So thank you, especially we're doing it collectively. It's yeah, thank you so much. I'll start
No.
writing.
Oh, that's so beautiful to hear. That's like truly wonderful. One like all I want to ever hear. So I'm also sharing my Substack. I'm trying to lead like just more collective writing together sessions, and there'll be exercises there. If you ever feel like you want to keep writing together, this is something I'm hoping to create.
I'd like to say something here, Vespera.
Yeah,
I'm at a point in my life where I'm letting nature guide me through a lot of my decisions, because not a lot is coming from within, because I'm really spread out all over. But writing is something that I love to do for my own self, like journaling and all of that. But I loved how you connected natural elements and helped us make them our guides. And usually when I'm out in nature, I connect to a tree or a flower or a bug. But this was very, very deep and a very reflective time for me. So really grateful and thankful to you.
wow. Thank you, Hina. Thank you for that reflection. I really appreciate that, and I'm so glad that that could be clarifying. Really. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, it's funny. I'm also someone who journals a lot, and sometimes when I'm just journaling and journaling, I reach a point where I can't go on. Like there is nothing else. I'm dry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And
thank
then I'm
you.
like, there are no answers. Yeah. So thank you.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Beautiful.
I
Well,
want to, can I
yeah.
just say, I just want to echo what Heina just said, like just I really felt the channeling, especially in the mantra. It was just like, boom. Like it was very like effortless. Like I'm really appreciating like the effortlessness of this. And it just seems like it opens new possibilities in ways that are potentially so much more aligned with like what the earth needs, as opposed to like what I think. Fill in the blank. So that it was very cool. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the decentering middle part sometimes helps us realize, like, get it out, like we have no idea what's happening. And then something can arise. Yeah, it's like carving space.